Yo, what's up, guys? What's up? Welcome all, welcome all. Welcome to another edition of the Double Thought Show, where we discuss various themes and topics, touching on them from different perspectives to entertain you guys, and we do it in a way that's as objective as possible. KR.
Please check your audio real quick.
Okay. I didn't I didn't put it on. Yo,
We already
what a
struggle
way
streaming,
to
guys. It's
start.
the last week. Hopefully, it's the last
What
week.
a way to
The
start.
audio part. What a way to go out.
Anyway, well,
What a way to go out. He just
Right.
was sitting there. I was like, why does he sound like
so
that?
far away, man.
Yeah.
Nah. Did you hear the intro though?
No, I didn't because I was so focused on the audio quality. But
Right.
check the settings if it chose the right mic.
It's supposed to be. It's the same mic.
It sounds better. It sounds better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, man. So let's do the introduction one more time, man. Guys, this is the last week. Welcome all to another edition of the Double Touch Show, where we discuss various themes and topics, touching on them from various perspectives. We do it in a way that's as objective as possible. And as always, we really appreciate your feedback, but also your input in
Yes.
these conversations, because we believe that by entering into healthy dialogue with one another, we can all help each other form better opinions that will ultimately benefit everyone else.
Society.
Yeah, society. Yeah, I was trying to go. So in my mind, I was going for the universe, but then I thought, no, that's
Uh,
too.
that's tough. I cannot connect or communicate well with the aliens. So
Not
for
yet,
now
man,
we
not
have
yet.
to. Maybe
No,
Alex can. Let's talk about it later in
we're
the
gonna
show.
talk about it later. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm RJ, as you guys already know, here with my co-host KR.
What's
KR,
up, guys?
what's up, man? Another wild week.
Yes, another wild week. We will dive into that later in the show, but a wild afternoon today, or a wild morning for some of y'all.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you
We
refer.
open we open up a can of ass whooping on America,
Yeah, yeah.
guys. It was fun. See y'all till the next one.
Uh,
Thank you for your participation. Keep the football in the hands, not on the foot. I
yeah.
love the. I love no, no,
Uh,
but it was a crazy week. I'm just kidding, guys. I was trying to match our great what's his name again? The one who said the ass whooping was going to
oh, that was Charles
Charles
Barkley.
Charles
Charles
Barkley.
Barkley.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
Charles
was
Barkley.
trying to match his energy, but anyway,
Charles
yes.
Barkley guaranteed. So for those of you who didn't get the context, we're talking about the FIFA World Cup soccer. Charles Barkley guaranteed that a couple of days ago that the U.S. would win against the Netherlands. And for those of you who know Charles Barkley and who knows of his famous or infamous guarantees, he's often wrong, as was the case.
as this time,
As
as
was
this
the
time.
case. No, but
Yeah, but it was a crazy week. What aside from the World Cup, I saw one of the craziest story I saw in weeks. And imagine you guys, I see a lot of stories in order to select the correct ones we want to address. Um, and I see a lot of crazy stuff. You can imagine, but one of the stories I saw earlier this week, which we will not dive into in this show, was in Canada. There was this vet who wanted her she wanted a elevator, or was it elevator? There was something that had to be installed for her to move better in her house.
okay.
And apparently the government has to do that, and they basically, as she was saying, guys, when am I going to get the uh the whatever she needed? I don't know if you know, but they introduced euthanization in Canada, I think earlier last month or something like that.
Mhm.
You know what they told her? We didn't tell her, oh, let's do this, and we're gonna do this as soon as possible. They gave her the option for euthanasia. So so they didn't say, oh, our bad. We're gonna solve this as soon as possible. No, please, if you can, off yourself.
It's always an option.
This is that to me was one of the crazy stuff I saw last week. But hey, man, it is a crazy world we live in these days.
It's very crazy, and
Topic
it
of
seems,
today, of course.
and I do think sometimes I ask myself whether it's because whether it's always been crazy, but whether we're just aware of its craziness due to the connectivity we have with the rest of the world.
Yeah,
But
I think it's both.
yeah,
But
yeah. So, guys, thanks to everyone who's watching the live show. Of course, thank you all for your support, and of course, a thank you goes out as well to everyone that's watching the rebroadcast. Let's see if everything's working correct. If you guys can hear us, please put some ones in the chat. You guys
I
couldn't
bet you
hear
they
us
can
at
hear
the beginning.
you now. I bet you they can hear you now.
Yeah. So I think now we should be good, guys. So yeah, we just want to make sure that you guys can hear us clearly now, and that you guys aren't missing out on anything.
Guys, remember to like and follow, subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Just follow us so you can stay up to date with the latest up to date to the latest posts. Whatever we're posting, we are announcing it before we post it on Instagram. We're trying to implement some stories as well, interesting stuff we see on Instagram, and try to keep you guys entertained and informed as well. Not only entertainment, it's both.
Yeah, definitely, guys. So as KaiR said, keep supporting us. We really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on our socials. Before we proceed with the full stories of today, we want to add the usual disclaimer. As always, guys, remember we are not financial advisors, nor life advisors, nor any kind of advisors. In this show, the purpose of the show is purely to provide entertainment and, of course, share our thoughts with you guys. And, of course, we really appreciate it when you guys share your thoughts and opinions with us as well. For personal advice on whatever area that you may need, either personal or business, we urge you to seek out advice from the respective professional that can assist you in the fields where you need assistance.
Indeed. So as usual, we always go right after the disclaimer to the random thought of the day. Random thought of the day is basically where me and RJ and I basically share what went on earlier this week. Random thought we had because of things we saw. I could have added that crazy story which I opened up with as my random thought, but I thought it was a more remarkable video because I don't have any thoughts about it other than that. But
Yeah.
So RJ, please share your random thought of the day with us.
Thanks, KaiR. In today's random thought of the day, I'd like to talk about Will Smith. He's appeared on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah a couple of days ago, where he basically promoted an upcoming movie. I believe Emancipation is the title of the movie. He says
Keith was free.
he says because he promised that he would never do a slave movie, but he calls this a freedom movie. That's a nice play on
Did you
words
watch the
there.
trailer? Did you watch the trailer?
I
Or?
haven't watched the trailer.
Okay, I need to watch the
I
trailer.
only watched
Yeah.
I only watched the thumbnail on Google,
Okay.
I think. But guys, today I don't want to talk about the movie. I want to talk about Will Smith himself. As you guys know, he has gone. What's it called? AO, when someone can't be found. But he's disappeared. He went to rehab after the whole Chris Rock fiasco, where when he went on stage and slapped Chris Brown, sucker slap, if that's even a term, and basically got criticized and crucified for it. Of course, many people blamed Jada, including including me, but at least not Jada, because it's not Jada's fault. Of course, it's at the end of the day, it's Will Smith. A lot of people were of the opinion that Jada's not the best influence on Will Smith. I tend to agree with that, and I really didn't like what he did to Chris Brown. But I must say, seeing him again, talking, laughing, he has a very contagious personality in a positive sense. And I realized that I really like the guy, and I hope he's doing well. I just hope he's doing well. What I did notice, however, is that he hasn't disclosed why he did what he did. He claims that something happened or something was happening during those days that that had him feeling a certain kind of way. Of course, he didn't acknowledge the whole Jada being the influence um, narrative, but all I can say is that I hope sincerely that he's doing better. I hope that he's identified, truly identified what the problem is, and that he's actually working on it for himself. Because sometimes we tend to not want to see what's there. We tend to, especially if you've created a whole life, a whole uh, outlook on life, a whole story, and in that story you're the one that wants, you need to do this, you need to do that, you want to be there for everyone else. But sometimes it's good to, sometimes people don't want to objectively look at what the real problem is and to actually test whether their narrative is correct, whether the storyline they've painted is the right one. And if you don't do that, all I can say is he might not go on stage and slap someone again, but as long as he doesn't deal with that, um, that ghost and those demons will keep hunting him. So I wish Will Smith all the best for his career. I'm happy to see him again. But most importantly, I hope that he's doing better as a person. KR, that's my random thought of the day.
Thank you, man. I have nothing to add to that. Well, I have something to add, but it's not of value. So let's continue. Let's continue on.
Yeah,
I just hope he doesn't run up again, try to slap someone. But because the first time it's gonna work, but the second time,
yeah,
we might see Ali bleeding on the floor. But
yeah, and he might, and I don't, and he can expect at least at the beginning people flinching as a joke when he walks.
that's true. That's true.
And he needs to be aware of that.
Yeah. Hey, man, this is what it is. We make choices in life. We have to deal with them and try to find our way out or think our way out of it, out of the problem.
Yeah.
So, guys, before we continue, please like the show. That way, and also the rebroadcast. That way, we can get higher in the algorithm, or at least higher in the recommendations due to the algorithm, which helps us to spread the word in a sense. Other than that,
The
I think we
gospel.
can start with the gospel. yes, the gospel. That would be teamed up. Would be fitting up with the theme of the show today.
That's
We can spread the gospel. We have a lot to talk about, guys. Today's show, as you can see, the theme is on which hill will you stand your ground and choose to meet your maker? Well, we could have used the normal saying, but in order to get the the thumbnail out there on YouTube, on the YouTube streams, you cannot use that word. So
Yeah.
so the question is, and we're gonna do that by looking at two stories. The two main stories. Kanye. Last week he started his campaign. I think we talked about it with a couple of videos. And this week he continued. He teamed up with Milo, and he's basically running a campaign. I don't know campaigning for what. Last week we talked about it. Look at the show. Look back at the show. We talked about what we think this campaign is about and where he's heading. If presidency is a possibility, something that is reachable for him. And we will talk, of course, about his visits to temple, And Alex, I mean, if we all know what happened, the disaster during that show, we will dive into deeper
Yeah,
into
Alex
parts
Jones.
of the Alex Jones. Yes, will dive deeper into that. And the second part of the show, we will talk about Elon Musk because he decided to release the first part of the Twitter files, as he calls it, and it's basically revealing the suppressing of speech by Twitter. Would you say, RJ?
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So this is those are the main topics today, and yeah, we can start right away. So earlier this week, we saw that Kanye started with his campaign. I think Milo had a clear path on how he's gonna tackle this campaign. With the announcement of earlier last week, which we talked about, and starting the week off, Kanye decided to visit, as any campaign, you gotta limit the damage. He decided to visit a synagogue. Here's some small part of that visit. By the way, one of the worst videographers I've ever seen.
Myself is with them. Okay. So we'll film the inside. Is that okay?
You don't know who he is, right? Like he's
no, we don't know who he is.
He was invited
He's
guest.
a Kanye West.
That's the invited guest.
Oh, I didn't know it's Kanye West.
Okay.
He doesn't look like him. Okay,
We were
that's
just
fine.
filming. That's why
If
we
he was
didn't.
invited, that's fine. I don't know who invited him, but I'm security.
I skipped the part which one of the people talking was referring to the synagogue as a church. Didn't to- I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this was the week started for Kanye. Quite on a relaxed side, visiting the synagogue, trying to talk about the things he basically was uh, ranting about weeks before, talking about the community of the Jewish people. And I don't remember, I don't know if you remembered, RJ. Last week we talked about one of the clips we. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I clicked on.
Oh,
Oh my God. Yeah, this is a mess. I clicked on the wrong.
I do have it though. I think. Let me
Let me
check.
see. I have it here, I think. Let me see. Let me see. That's when I wanted to click to make it bigger. I think it's which part? I think it's here. I think it's here. Let me see. Definitely here. Bit up. Bit up. Yes. I don't know if you recall. Last week we talked about this particular clip of him talking to Milo and that guy sitting in the back, and this is I think what we talked about. I'm not sure if it's him.
I don't think. No.
So let me go a little bit back. Sitting there in the background. I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know if you saw that, RJ, but did you see who was sitting there in the background?
No, I didn't.
Let me go back. I think it was here. I'm not sure if it's him.
I don't think. No, it's not. I don't think. Who do you
I'm
think it
not
is?
sure. It looks like Sneako.
It does look a lot like Sneako, but I don't think
He
it's
looks a lot like Sneako. I'm not sure if it's Sneako,
I don't think it is.
but I thought it was. When I saw it, I was like, "Is that Sneako?"
I don't think it's Sneako.
Okay, so you basically said multiple times that my senses of the banned people on the internet was crappy.
Well, I didn't phrase it like that though.
Okay, you didn't phrase it like that. That might be.
But of course, but I mean, I was just using logic. What would Kanye be doing with Sneako? They have nothing to do with each other. So,
well, you would be surprised because
say it ain't so.
earlier this week.
Come on, guys. Oh,
Hey, what's up, Sneako? How you doing?
Doing good.
Thanks.
Just got out of the airport.
Okay. How'd you end up working for Ye?
I have always wanted to.
Okay.
And
No.
my dad is the future.
Yeah.
And he plugged me in, and so now I'm coming on on the creative side.
Nick Fuentes is the future. This is, guys. You have Kanye. By now, you guys already know he's banned.
Again.
You have Sneako, who's again, yes, okay, again. You have Sneako, who's banned from YouTube, and I think probably also Twitter. Not sure. From YouTube, at least, he's banned. Milo, who's banned from YouTube and Twitter. Nick, who's banned from Twitter and YouTube. You have Alex, who's banned from Twitter and YouTube.
Alex
You
Jones.
have Ali, who's banned from Twitter and YouTube. What is this, guys? Is this going to be the banned Avengers? What are they doing? What is Kanye doing?
Yeah.
I don't know. What is this, guys?
Phase 7. Phase 7, man.
Everyone
Regroup.
regroup. Oh my god. I don't know what this is, man. I don't know what Kanye's idea is of all this, but this is like the banned Avengers of all people who have been banned. They're like teaming up to create, like, I don't know how they're gonna make a dent in the world if you don't have social media. RJ, I wanted to invite Kanye to our show. I tried to connect but I cannot reach anyone. What is this? Can't even set up a meeting or whatever. I can't. His campaign manager. I have to call him to find him. Who calls these days anymore?
Yeah, you need to go to the old Motorola
Yellow pages. I need to go to the yellow pages to find Milo's number. Come on, man. I can barely find anyone.
You can't DM none of them at this moment. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy, and I mean,
yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's what you said. Is it the Avengers of banned people? I mean, clearly that's clearly, or I can't say clearly, but it's like that's the only thing that I can think of that binds all these people together. Banned anti-heroes.
The anti-heroes who are going to take the White House.
Yeah.
This is like what's that? There is this. It's not Justice League. What's the suicide? Oh, I cannot use the word.
Yo,
the self deletion squad. Let's call them that way.
Yo.
I catch myself almost slipping.
So this is what
studio.
So this is what happened in my mind. I was looking for the name as soon as I said anti-hero because I forgot the name. So
Yeah.
I have it here, and I entered anti-hero DC Comics, and you said and I said, oh, that's it. But then you stopped, and I thought at first you were, looking for the name. So it's like Susu. So I started saying it. So if we look back at this video, I said Sue. So that was my first reaction. Oh, I know what it is. Sue, and then like a millisecond afterwards, I had a conversation with myself. Why did KR stop? Because he was almost there. And then
I catch myself every show. I catch myself almost slipping, guys. That's part of the show, I guess. But yeah, it's like the self-deletion squad. Well, they self-deleted on Twitter. So
yeah, let's see, man.
anyway, I don't. This is how this is going. Sneako is teaming up. Maybe they can create some. Hey, maybe you never know. I don't think they will join. But what's the Miami guys again?
Fresh and Fit.
Fresh and Fit. Maybe they'll join Kanye too.
Well,
they too much up. They are too much up.
They're still up. Man, these guys are killing it. I mean, you can say whatever you want about their content, but they know how to run a show, man.
They are running it. Yeah. They're doing a great job. They're doing a great job. So, guys, that was the beginning of the week. Very interesting stuff happening. And before you know, it was announced that Kanye would go to Tim Pool's podcast, Tim IRL. That didn't went that well. Or not at least as good as maybe both parties expected. Because basically, we'll show a small part of this clip. We watched it in full, and we can discuss this later.
Because because when you think
the way I got this day though, we can't. I almost shed a tear, almost, but I still walked in stride through it. Yeah,
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
who was they though? We can't say who they is.
Corporate
Can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking.
it is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, because
No.
because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018,
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up, and then
have
think
the
we're not going
discussion.
to have a conversation.
Like, have the discussion.
Like you think he's going to come in here and say, "Here's my pain, here's my suffering." I'm going to say, "I hear you," and then he's going to say, "And it was Jewish people," and I'm going to be like, "Okay, but don't you consider?" It's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't say I'm surprised. What do I even do other than ask him? Please elaborate on this. Are you referring to individuals? Or are you quite literally blaming an entire group of people for the fact that powerful individuals are causing you harm?
I really wanted to ask Nick about his thoughts about MLK because I know they contradict his comments about that. But again,
that would have been a pretty interesting deep dive. Guys, for you to understand, the show started off basically how Tim always, his format is basically they walk through different articles and they discuss those articles, basically chiming in on their perspectives. And Tim opened up a article, started discussing it, and out of nowhere, Kanye starts talking about his problems or whatever situation he's in right now, before what happened at Alex Jones. And the format basically switches to kind of a semi interview, would you say, RJ?
Yeah.
And suddenly, when Tim asks, I would say mildly critical, it wasn't really a critical question.
No.
he stormed off, Kanye.
Yeah, he stormed off. But the thing is, and the thing, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna see them acting differently in the Alex Jones interview later on in the show. But the thing is, in this show, he said a couple of times before he stood up and walked away, he basically warned them. He told him straight. He told Tim straight to his face, I'm not going to be set up like I was set up on the Lex Fridman podcast. So that's what he basically said a couple of times. And he said, if I can't say who they is on this show, then I'm gonna walk away. So Tim did know that Kanye didn't want to talk about it on his show. Kanye went, or at least Ye went wild on the Alex Jones show. But on this particular show, he said a couple of times, if I can't say who they is, then I'm going to walk away. So Tim actually did know. And he kept on pushing. I do agree with you that you're just having a conversation. And I've just, we here at the Double Touch Show, we promote dialogue. But if your guest tells you that, if you want to talk about this, then I'm going to leave, and you decide to talk about it either way, you actually can't be shocked when he walks away.
Technically, I don't think Tim was shocked either. Well, he was kind of, I would say he wasn't really shocked. He was basically
disappointed.
Yeah, you can say disappointed, as he wanted to know more. So this is how he was more disappointed that he couldn't talk about what really happened at the meeting with Donald Trump.
Yeah,
he was very disappointed about that, and I think. But if you look at the thing itself, yes, Kanye warned him about not being set up like the Lex Fridman show, which I don't think was a setup.
Me neither.
It didn't look like it.
Me neither.
I think during the Lex Fridman show, which we discussed in a previous episode, Lex was trying to reach a common ground with what they were talking about, and try to convey the thoughts of the harming words of his rhetoric.
Yeah.
And maybe he felt as if that was a setup. I don't know. Apparently he did. But if you look at this, the reaction of Tim after Kanye left, he's basically said Kanye doesn't owe him anything, so he can leave whenever he wants to.
Yeah. Well, Tim did say when Ye stood up and left that if he was a bit bummed because he wanted to talk about other things. However, to go back to my initial point, if that's actually your core interest, then you should go straight to it. Especially if the guy tells you it was at least 2 times. It could have been even more. I can't recall.
And two times, I think he said it. At least,
before he stood up. So if that's actually where you wanted to go, then you would have just went there. So I think that he wanted to go there as well. So he's being disingenuous by saying that he actually wanted to go there, as if he didn't want to talk about what he kept on pushing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Ye was right to stand up and leave, but I am saying that I don't actually buy what Tim is saying either.
But then again, and what I do think is that I think Tim didn't want to change the format of his show for a guest, not even for Kanye. So I think that's also a thing that I've watched almost the whole after show, and he said that before the show it was they had a very good talk about everything that he was doing with the Yay 24 campaign.
Mhm.
And it was 2 hours long. Oh no, 1 hour. I think they talked about everything, and it was no problem. And then the cameras went on, and it just flipped. It totally went on a sort of script,
Yeah.
kind of. So, hey man, it's a bad look. It was a bad look for Kanye, I think, because if you're trying to. So last week we already debunked this, or we talked about this, that he wants to become president. But if you want to become a president, you shouldn't be running away from these types of confrontations. You should stand your ground, even though I do understand he doesn't want to talk about it. You mentioned it. You it's something you talked about it in the media. So
Yeah, and to what Lex Friedman basically said, call the people out directly. I think that has more power
yeah,
because if you take, for example, Dame Dash, this guy calls his, let me say, quote unquote enemies by their full names.
ops,
His ops, yeah, by their full names. So
almost date of birth,
almost,
if
yeah.
you could.
Yeah, and blood type. But
Yeah.
it's like do that as well, or call out the companies directly,
Yeah.
because then everyone knows what you're talking about. Let's say now, last week we covered the whole Balenciaga scandal, guys. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Apparently, KaiR understood that Balenciaga initially they wanted to sue
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Yes, you're right.
But then
How is it going?
this week they dropped that. They dropped the.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're not gonna sue. They're not gonna sue the creative director anymore. Makes you
What?
wonder why. Yeah. It's like yeah.
Oh man, what are they?
It's a facade. It's a facade.
I think we talked about it last. You said it last week.
Yeah.
This whole thing. Well, we talked about quite extensively about how they are basically reminding you all the good things they were doing, and basically trying to push the bad things aside.
Yeah, and the director, I think it was the creative director itself, or maybe a photographer. When you went
I mean,
when you went and looked at his portfolio.
Oh no, not Demna. That's the other person. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the other one. Yeah. You look at his portfolio.
Female.
Only
The
those
female,
type
yeah.
of contents were
Yeah,
very.
the female.
It's
great.
sickening. But to get back on topic, let's say. So Ye has a problem with Balenciaga. You call out Balenciaga directly. You don't say fashion industry. It's even even if you want to say fashion let's say the fashion industry is corrupt. You can say that about the fashion industry. You can say that about a group of people, because the one is a generalization and the other one can easily be classified as racism or classism, and you want to avoid that. So it would have been a more strategic move for Ye to just call out these people by their name. And Lex Friedman even said, you know what, I'll back you up if you do. If you have the balls, I'll back you up. Instead of they laughed it out. Instead of doing it, he afterwards said that Lex Friedman was a setup, so the whole show was a setup. So
I don't know, man.
That's
yeah. Sad. I think Lex tried to, it as much as he could. Lex tried to like get him to understand what is the path he's taking, because I think Lex already saw where this was going.
Yeah.
Before, well, I saw it as well, but I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna pat myself on the back, but it's sad, and I think I do agree with you on that, and with the Lex. Just call the people out by names, and he's doing it sometimes, but it's not. He's not doing it all the time. It's like he goes back into his. I don't know what he's thinking about actually.
No, he's a creative.
Yeah.
So
emotion. He goes back to emotion.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk. So later on the show, we have a clip, the Veritainment clip, and I think I like the way Andrew Schultz. So Andrew Schultz, the guest on the PBD podcast, he basically gave a breakdown of which I thought, that's a good way to explain what Ye is doing, because he's definitely not dumb, but he's not organized, strategic, nor structured, and that's the cause of his downfall, or that's causing his downfall.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the first visit of the week. I think Milo had a kind of a plan on how to tackle this week to get the Avengers name out there, to get some popularity and get the eyeballs on him. And it was supposed to be the second part of that visit was supposed to be to Alex Jones, and we all know Alex Jones from his conspiracies, or by now the guy who got $1 billion put on his back. RIP to his financials. So Kanye went to Alex Jones, and we have a couple of parts where we thought this was quite interesting to see the interaction, because I think if you look, before I play the video, the clips we have, if you look at the whole, what was your first feeling watching the interview, RJ?
My first feeling,
yeah, basically
my first feeling,
your gut feeling when you got it.
So my gut was upside down. I had various feelings. That's what I'm asking you. That's what I'm asking you. My first feeling.
Oh, so it went ups and downs throughout the.
Yeah, it was definitely a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Basically, Alex Jones handed Ye the keys to the show.
Yeah, I saw that as well. It was quite interesting.
Yeah,
how we did it.
And he said, "Talk about whatever you want to talk about." And I think that the fact that he stepped away from, or that he walked away from Tim Pool's show also played a role, because, I also saw it on the PBD podcast when Patrick Bet-David and Sosnick interviewed.
By the way, before you continue,
AB
is going viral again.
Yeah.
The first goal of the Netherlands, they did.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
Guys,
I didn't watch it.
By the way, we wish AB all the best. He's right now barricaded in Miami, and the cops are basically surrounding him. So, good luck, guy.
Yeah. Is that because of the?
I don't know, some kind of a domestic violence.
Yeah, it was domestic violence. Yeah, right. But
I don't know if he's already out, but
that's
last thing I read.
Because Oak is out and alive.
Also a Donda Sports director. So this is Donda Sports is going to.
Yeah, he's not on the team because he still has an account, I think. But um, it's not on the Avengers show. The the band Avengers.
The fast pace towards it. That's for sure.
Yeah, but
Well, he's at least he's part of the self-deletion squad because he will be locked up after this one.
yeah, let's see. Let's if you're not cooperating with the cops, there might be consequences.
Yeah.
But
But let's continue.
yeah, so I saw it in the interview in PPD's interview with AB as well, Antonio Brown. Basically, and Patrick Bet-David, for those of you who don't know, is known for having very good interview skills. He really asks questions and that others don't ask, and I don't know, I really enjoy his interviews. But with AB, when he had AB on, they couldn't actually guide the show, so they basically said to AB, tell us what you want to talk about. And AB was like, no, I'm here, you interview me. And so that was also a very awkward show. But I got the same feeling here, a little less though, because AB is not that articulate. Kanye West is very articulate. He's very expressive. Well, he's
a bit more articulate than he cannot convey his thoughts.
You're right.
Really clear.
You're right. So he's maybe not articulate, but no, I do think that he's articulate. I also think that he's very expressive. I don't think that he's strategic.
Okay.
So he can express things. He can make comparisons. He has jokes, as we will see in a bit. But so, and basically, yeah, that was my feeling. Alex Jones basically said, and actually that was the first time that I watched Alex Jones
a full interview.
Yeah, and I didn't watch it completely. I watched a majority of it, a big part of it, but that was the first time I watched show. It was pretty interesting to see. I don't know how his shows are, but usually, Alex Jones said himself a couple of times that, hey, I'm basically the guest host because you guys are
Jesus
taking
took the
over
wheel. Jesus took the wheel. Jesus took the wheel.
Yeah.
Oh man, and he took the wheel and went off road with this. I watched the full. I watched the full interview, and I have to say, I was watching it and thinking the same thing. I think it's almost the same thing. The show had certain parts where you think, that makes sense. And certain parts you would think like, dude, what the heck is going on in your brain?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, is he for real?
Yeah.
And that happened. And I think it's the roller coaster ride you said earlier. It's you'll be watching the things, and he's I think first of all that he has Elon talked about this earlier on his visit to the Joe Rogan podcast, where he said he has like 7-8 different thoughts simultaneously, and he's always getting more ideas. And I think Kanye has the same thing. The problem with Kanye is he doesn't know how to channel certain stuff to certain parts, and basically what he has is he comes with ideas, he says stuff, and then he goes to left, right. It's hard. He's swerving all over the place, and then combined with his the crazy stuff he says about.
Yeah. So he's a visionary, but he's not. So that's what I mean to say. He's a visionary. He has a lot of ideas, great ideas. He draws outside the lines, but he's a creative. That's why he has like innovative things. He has like brilliant lyrics, brilliant That's what I'm saying. He is very good at expressing, but he's not good at structure. He's not a structured person, and he needs people to help him with that.
He's not good at selling himself.
I don't.
Well,
Yeah, I this
selling ideas. Let's put it this way. Selling himself sounds like.
So I don't agree with that. I do think that he's very good at selling ideas, but he cannot communicate to so you have people who will try to understand what you're saying, and let's say people who think in a very lazy manner. So you have to tell me because I'm not going to try to understand. And the majority of people are lazy-minded. So they will not try to understand where you're coming from, what you're saying, etc. I mean, I've heard people saying, of course, a lot of people calling him a lot of names negatively. But I also saw on the show a couple of days ago it was a live show of Anton Daniels. Shout out to Anton Daniels, where he had a panel, and basically a guy said that he believes that Ye always calls himself Jesus, and he believes that the blood of Christ runs through his veins, something to that extent, and that is the reincarnation, and that's why he fell in love with him. So I think that he can communicate.
Is that how? Oh, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, that's more or less what he said, and so you have like a spectrum of thoughts, spectrum of ways of people, let's say people's opinion towards Ye. But I believe he can if he wants to connect with you. But at this point in time, he wants to connect, but he wants to connect with those who are open to listen to his message.
Well, okay. Let's see what Alex has for us. Where is that?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I said with Ali Alexander and Nick Fuentes that we're like the SWAT team of free thought, and I go in with this battle ram at the door, and then they come in with these laser beams and have that information. And we work together as a team. A lot of times in media, they want to single out one person and burn them to the core. That is a Zionist approach. And they're asking me to use that same approach. Well, hey, don't say all people, just say specifically the businessmen. And then I go on Lex Fridman and I say who it's specifically, and that's still not enough. They're still taking it too far. Everyone knows and agrees now that it's like a reverse version of American History X, the scene when they put the guy's head against the curve and kick the back of it. And now people are like, wait a second, the so-called crime doesn't deserve the punishment. What did I thought?
Well, that's right. You're not Hitler. You're not a Nazi. You don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well,
so what would be when someone says something to you like that, and you would say, yes, you're right. Probably most of the time people would say, you're definitely right. I'm not Hitler, and I don't want to be demonized.
So Alex Jones was clearly trying to give him an out.
He gave him, this is like
threw a rope.
When the O line opens up for you, the road for the running back. Wide open.
And you would think that he would run, right? He wouldn't kick the ball.
He didn't kick it. He decided to lay down. Yeah. I'm not gonna move.
I see good things about Hitler also. I love everyone, and Jewish people are not going to tell me you can love us, and you can love what we're doing to you with the contracts, and you can love what we're pushing with the pornography. But this guy that invented highways, invented the very microphone that I use as a musician. You can't say out loud that this person ever did anything good. And I'm done with that. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. How about that one?
Well, it's not done yet. Listen to this part.
Ari Emanuel, how you like the table? Especially Hitler. How about that one? Ari Emanuel, how you like that one? Hey, Ron, you going to do anything to fix Chicago?
Well, I am worried about the thousands of black folks down in month of Chicago, but let me expand on that because that's a nuanced issue. Yeah. You know, my grandfather grew up in Dallas and from a pretty wealthy family.
Also, Hitler was born Christian.
I've studied some of the history on it, but it's very interesting. My grandfather, grew up and actually some of his family spoke some German. There's a lot of Germans in Texas. But did you know that he grew up next door to the inventor of air conditioning and the inventor of one of the major inventors of refrigeration? And so my issue was, growing up, my grandfather told me the stories about some of the inside baseball and the things that went on. But later, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to tell you some stuff about Hitler that you might not know directly that happened to.
So Alex Jones was like,
let's move past that one. Let's move as fast as we can.
Let's bring a random. So we have our random thought segment, random thought of the day segment. Alex Jones apparently has a random topic of the day.
Oh man, this is that. Then here's another part of Kanye. Basically, let me see if I have the correct timing. Yeah.
The group politics.
Adam, sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
So this part, they're talking about, let's say, serious stuff. They're having a serious discussion or talking about serious stuff, and suddenly Kanye thinks, I'm the comedian, and tries to lighten the stuff up a little bit. Let's see how he does it.
Alex.
Yes, sir.
I've got the perfect answer for the ADL. They are going to have to listen up. What we did is we brought Netanyahu with us.
I mean, I'm in the twilight zone right now.
When Alex is saying he's in the twilight zone, you're in trouble, man.
On his show.
On his show. The man who I've seen the crazy stuff from Alex, but if he's saying I'm in the twilight zone,
yeah,
you're in trouble. Anyway, let's continue. What is he going to say about this?
Netanyahu, what do you have to say? What do you have to say to Alex Jones right now, Nick Fuentes and Ye? It was bad. It was bad for Trump to meet with Nick and Ye. Okay. I had no idea your voice is going to sound like that, Netanyahu.
So you don't like Benjamin Netanyahu?
I just heard about this guy 2 weeks ago since like the tweet, and I thought he had a funny name. I heard he's like really into he's like a super killer. I could die for saying this. So in case this the last time you ever hear from me.
Well, look. I'm glad you guys are here, and we can sit here and upset. All I'm telling you is, do you guys realize that the British government created?
Alex Jones looks awkward.
Alex is the joke is awkward. Alex is trying to find a way out of this. This is crazy. Yo, Alex is like, dude, I love my life. Even though I just got sued for $1 billion.
That's the thing. That's the thing, because I think because he got sued and actually not only got sued, he was ordered to pay the money because there's a verdict against him.
Yeah.
A judgment against him. So he's in enough troubles already. He's probably already thinking about how he should how he's going to pay off all the money he owes. Now, as he's sitting there and he's talking the way he's talking, he's probably thinking to himself, I can't afford another lawsuit. No, it's great.
Hitler and the Milner Group put him in power, and there's something much more sophisticated. And I personally think that most Jews are great people, and I understand there's a Jewish mafia, and they're used to demonize anybody that promotes freedom, but I don't blame Jews in general for that. And there is a much larger eugenics, transhumanist, scientific elite agenda that's playing off.
What about abortion? It's 50% of Black deaths.
So he's trying to pull the show back onto the rails because it's going someplace that's not the message of his show.
Yeah.
His show is always about conspiracies, and he talks more about macro situations, about conspiracies and all that stuff. And this guy is out here talking about basically what he's been talking about all this past month.
Mm-hmm. Well, what Kanye is talking about it is can also be qualified as a conspiracy theory. But again, I go to my previous point. Call the people by name.
Yeah.
And he did, actually. He called Ron Emanuel and Ari Emanuel, I think, right?
Yeah.
Who are brothers or brothers.
Oh, they are brothers, yeah.
Right. Then you have your free speech. And when the left came out in the last 10 years and really accelerated the last 5, 6, it said white people are inherently evil because of the color of their skin, and that somebody who moved here as a kid from Poland, they're supposed to pay reparations for what people did hundreds of years ago in this country. It's a divide and conquer strategy. I'm not getting into the reparations debate. I'm saying the groups pushing reparations are trying to cause division. And so I've said it, the most Nazi-like activities I've seen, and the Nazis, in my view, were thugs that shook people down, did a lot of really bad things.
But they did good things too. We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
Okay. We're going to get to that. I don't want to get digressed into this, but remember I told you a story about my grandfather growing up in the richest neighborhood in Dallas, and down the street was a famous German-American inventor. And he was a first-generation person. He'd come here when he was a little kid on a ship, and he held a bunch of the patents on refrigeration and air conditioning. And my grandfather worked the time he was about 8 years old, because he took him under his wing, in his little tinkering factory. Then he had factories in places like Detroit that actually built the stuff. And my grandfather, the main reason he joined the Army Air Corps, he told me, he didn't tell me a lot about this, he's told me this story, was because he watched that man very quietly, once Hitler got power in the 30s, suck every dime out of him, or he would kill his relatives in Germany. And that guy was blonde-haired and blue-eyed, was as German as you could get, as Arnold Schwarzenegger, or as Teutonic, as Germanic. And the point was, my grandfather saw that. So I understand you're opposed to other forces, but I don't think thinking other forces in history that are lionized. That's my personal experience of what my grandfather, Clyde William Hammond, told me. Does that make sense?
It not totally to me, but it's, and I'm not saying that to be just.
Hey, yo. Hey, great story, but I need to continue with my point.
Yeah. Cool story, bro, but I'm not done
that's a cool story.
But I'm
It's
not
just
done
cool story. The guy, he was talking about his grandfather. Who, I mean, during the show, it was multiple times where he was talking. He was trying to convey basically, like, I mean, he gave Kanye the floor, but Kanye went a number of times left, and he was trying to convey to Kanye that his grandpa fought during the Second World War, and he has read letters of his grandpa, and trying to tell him, like, dude, this is the thing you're saying isn't like to take very lightly in a sense.
And
And also, continue.
No, continue. Finish your thought, and then I'll go.
Well, he was trying to also distance himself.
That's where I was going. that's exactly.
It was two points. He's trying to convey to him, dude, this is not likely, but let me separate myself from this crazy thought.
That's exactly where I was going with that one. It was more like, you know what? I'm going to tell my story about personally. And did you catch what he said? I'm saying what I personally.
Just to make sure.
And then said, heard from my grandfather. So,
Oh my God. And during the show, there were a lot of awkward moments, multiple awkward moments. In the beginning, you had the awkward silence when Kanye said that he was going to tweet, let everyone tweet. Everyone was like, okay.
Yeah.
You saw that as well, right? It was an awkward silence at the moment.
Yeah, because he said that I'm the only one. So I'm paraphrasing it. He basically said, I'm the only one with a Twitter account.
And he was right.
An active Twitter account. And Alex Jones doesn't have one. And Nick Fuentes also doesn't have one. So
Ali didn't have one.
No, but but he was referring to these two people in this show. And he said, well, today, Elon Musk, I'm going to let them both tweet from my account. How do you like that, Elon? And everyone was like, silence. Like, okay. And he expected a reaction or something. But it's like, how do you like that? How do you like that,
Elon? Yeah.
How do you like that, Elon? And yeah, the room was just silent.
Very silent.
Yeah.
Exactly zero chance that we get any kind of regime that's going to deliver the real change.
Nick, I got a question. If I say something that's provocative towards the Mossad, is that misogynistic? Hold on, let's hear from that. Hey, I'm the head of the Mossad. I'm gonna kill you and take your children away from you. Thanks a lot, Netin. Back to you, Alex.
Please turn your microphone around, sir. Man, I'm definitely overwhelmed here right now. InfoWars.com, tomorrow's news today. Listen, all I'm trying to get through here is I believe every group should be able to be
switched his name to Netin. I dropped the Yahoo so we didn't have to. I was tired of picking up the Yahoo and the Netin. So for now, he's just Netin. I know some people call him BB. No, some of you call him Yahoo, but we're going to call him Netin. What you want, Netin? Hey, right after this, I'm going to say you're crazy. I'm going to take your family away from you. We're not done with you yet. You cannot cause free thought. We have to control the history books. We have to control the banks. And we have to go and kill people. Also, we're in the pedophilia.
So, and in a little while, hopefully you're going to take the mask off because is this actually yay here, folks? Is this the mask is coming off in a little while? Hopefully, we're going to be able to have a discussion about this. But I mean, seriously, you have the globalists pushing a poison.
Yeah. This is basically every time Kai was talking, Alex was sitting there like, is this for real?
Is this where the show is going? Yeah.
Did I give someone did I give this dude the keys to the car?
Yeah. Can you go back to that clip? Just the final 15 minutes, maybe?
15 seconds or 15?
Seconds. Apologies. Yeah. Final 15. And I just want you to look at so it's just after Kanye. So Ye has so he's gonna let Netin talk. Just look at Nick Fuentes' reaction. So I wanna.
Do they show it?
Yeah, just so he's laughing right now. But yeah,
we have to control the banks and we have to go and kill people. Also, we're in the pedophilia.
So, and in a little while,
it's like there you have it. But what I wanted to say is because I was surprised that Nick Fuentes is 24 years old. Ye is how old? 45?
45 or something like that, yeah?
And yeah, I don't know. We talked about Ye being creative, Ye being someone that might have a lot of great ideas, let's say for art, and maybe for other things as well, but that he needs people around him that can basically help him structure his thoughts and ideas and actually implement them, to make his ideas is more tangible. I don't know if Nick Fuentes is the right person for him to be in his group. I don't know if you want to talk about that later, but I don't.
We can talk about it now.
Yeah, I don't. He has no. I don't see him having any skin in the game. He's basically.
He's not alone for the right.
He has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose, and he's 24 years old. 24. He has his whole life ahead of him. Ye, I think, but I don't know if Ye is open for that. You should have people around him that can tell him something for his good, So Ye, maybe, hey Ye, what you're talking or what you're saying with regards to Kim, for example. I understand where you're coming from, but you can't say it like that. If you do that, and someone that he will listen to. I think that Nick Fuentes is there because he lets Ye do whatever he wants to do. And as friends, sometimes you need to be able to tell your friend, listen, I don't agree with what you're doing. Sway had the answer. Maybe other people do as well. That's what I want to say.
No, I totally agree with you. I think I can't recall which show that was. It was one of the first shows where you basically asked me, was it the Endgame show? Where you basically asked me during the scenario part, what I would advise him to do. That's basically what I said. Have someone who can tell you the truth, and because right now it seems, but I could be wrong, guys. Kanye seems to me like a sponge, and during the show, he there were talks. He mentioned that he denied the Holocaust, and that's one of the talking points of Nick. And before he linked up with Nick, I've never heard him talk about Holocaust or anything related to that. So basically, he's sitting there talking to a 24-year-old who's basically feeding him information, random information, and he's sitting there and he's the mic, basically spreading the info. There is no, like you said, there is no skin in the game for him. He's just sitting there for the right. The only one so everyone is basically up because of Ye, because viewerships are up, even with Tim Pool, even Tim Pool, which had a 30-minute, let's say, interview visit from Kanye, that resulted in a 1.3 million view clip.
Wow. Yeah, and
1.3, and do you know how much the highest is?
How much?
The highest amount of views Tim has had on all his clips on IRL. Give me a second. Oh, give me a second. These are let me go to the lives. My bad. The highest one he has is 2.4. He is at number 3 already.
Yeah.
And this is a clip of 4 days ago.
Yeah.
And you know who's number 2?
Trump.
Alex.
That was gonna be my next guess, actually.
Yeah. So he's up. If you look at this interview, Alex is up with 3.6 million views.
Mm-hmm.
Nick is up because he's getting more his face out there. He's linked to Kanye now. His profile is up.
Yeah.
Milo has been banned. I haven't heard from Milo in years.
Me neither. Yeah.
He's up now. Everyone is up.
Sneako.
Sneako. I almost forgot Sneako.
Sorry. Yeah,
Sneako just joined the team.
Yeah.
He's on the up. And Kanye is on the way down with the speed of light.
Yeah. And that's my concern. I don't think that he has the proper team around him, but I saw that he called Dave Chappelle, what was it? Someone who's also influenced by the mainstream or no, by the group he accuses of, let's say, to have control. So
by day
is now genders, right? So that's a whole different conversation. But yeah, so I don't think he has the right people around him, but I don't think that even that he is open to letting the right people around him come close. He's not open for dissenting opinion. He's very defensive. Lex Fridman, listen, you might not like what he's saying. So referring to Kanye, Kanye might not agree with everything that he's saying, but Lex Fridman really listened to him, challenged him. He even said, if you go against the people, mention the people by name and I will help you. You know, maybe at the end you don't agree with him, but you don't burn a bridge, because I do think that he wants to see Ye doing good. Same goes for Dave Chappelle. And I say that because Ye made jokes. Of course, he's a comedian.
Ye or you mean
no, Chappelle. Chappelle made Ye jokes, but of course, Dave Chappelle is a comedian.
Yeah.
But Donnell Rawlings said on the Breakfast Club, I think 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, when he was interviewed by the Breakfast Club, that Ye can always call Dave, because Dave, he makes jokes, but he does support his people. Now you go and make an enemy out of him. I think, and this ties in nicely to my random thought of the day, where I talked about Will Smith going on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah. That's what I said to with regards to Will Smith also applies to Ye. I hope that I want him to be good. I want him to be at peace.
To end up on his feet.
Yeah, because I don't desire bad upon nobody. I want people to do good. I want Ye to do good, but I hope that he's open to receiving advice that he might not want to hear, but might need to listen to.
Yeah. I do agree with you on that. I mean, he's surrounded by yes men. You see already the reaction by Nick, the shrug. There you have it.
Yeah, Nick is like, yeah, nice one.
More views for me, baby. Because he has also his own show.
Yeah.
So oh man. it's sad. It's sad to see Kanye go out like this.
Yeah. Just like the interview, the video you showed when they were at the Temple show podcast.
Yeah.
When Tim said, "Yeah, I don't refer to them as one group." So Temple said, "Yeah, they do this and this and this," and Ye. So that's what Tim said, and Ye asked, "But who's they though?" And Tim didn't want to go in. He said, "Yeah, I don't limit it to one specific
know
group."
where you're going.
And Nick, guys, you guys have to look at go back and look at the video. Tim said, "But it's them though, isn't it?" With I don't know. I don't know Tim.
You mean Nick?
Nick, yeah, Nick. So Nick was like, "But it's them though, right?" So he wanted to keep pushing. I don't know Nick. I don't need to know Nick either. I don't trust. It's not his ideas or thoughts. He doesn't seem like a trustworthy person to me. I just have that feeling, that gut feeling that he's not trustworthy. That's just my opinion.
Would you say that also from Milo?
From his
genuine. Let me ask you whether he's genuine trying to campaign with. I'm not gonna say trustworthy. Is he genuine trying to help Kanye become the first president, or is this kind of a boost of social media status, even though they don't have social media?
Yeah, I think it's a boost of status. For sure, it's a boost of status because, yeah, Milo is also tainted by the public. So with tainted, I mean people have their opinion of him. They have a certain opinion of him, and so this can greatly help him. He's probably getting paid as well, and he wants to get the best possible result for his client. I don't know Milo personally, or not personally, but I don't know him. I don't know much of him other than what's in the news. I don't trust him either, but it's not so trust has various factors, right? You can trust someone. You cannot trust someone because he will put a sharp object in your back, but you can
a pencil.
The
opposite of a pencil.
But you can also not trust someone because they're not reliable or they're not competent. So I can't say too much about Milo, but I can tell you Nick Fuentes, I don't trust that. And he's 24. He has nothing to lose.
He has nothing to lose, man. This is crazy.
He has.
I do think Milo. I've seen Milo debate in the past. That's where I know him from. Early he was debating as, let's say, well, he. I don't know if he's. I have to research that, but he used to be gay. I'm saying used to be because there was a time where he claimed that he was cured or something.
Wow. Okay. And
well, he's a known troll as well, so I don't think he was. But he married someone, and then they divorced, and he said, "I'm not gay anymore." But I got to know him on the internet as the gay guy who was basically debating feminists. It was crazy what he was saying. He was Tate before Tate.
Okay.
So
that's Jewish. Is he Jewish?
Milo, you mean?
Yeah, Milo.
I have no idea.
I think because that's what Ye said. Ye said,
yeah. I know. I think I've heard them saying that in the past, but there's a lot of people claiming a lot of stuff.
Even Pete Davidson has converted. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah. Of course, he's been trolling Ye. He's been trolling Ye since.
He's trying to get his up.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's continue with this mess. Let's see. We're going to talk here about. Oh yeah.
Who was recently glad on Instagram for us to put our faith in any single one of them.
Give me a second. Why the heck is this?
And by sold in all recent Tiaga scandal.
Yeah, Fuentes riding shotgun to call her.
Yeah, listen to this part. I timestamped it incorrectly.
It's almost like we got Ye here. The whole building's just crazy. Alex Jones here.
The shots. Did you hear that?
No.
Let me play that again. Just listen what he says.
It's almost like we got Ye here. The whole building's just crazy. Alex Jones here, back live with Ye.
Yo, before this, just right before this was like a this was like a ad segment. He basically was saying it's crazy here, and he was apparently you couldn't see it in the video. Apparently, he was pointing to. He was pointing to KaiR. You know what KaiR said? I can go to that part. I'll go to that part. It's. Let me see. That was at. Okay. It was at this part, I think.
Of our feet and everywhere in between, with the first, what we need, everything that we deserve, and then the best that you have for our lives, Yahweh God. In Jesus' name, amen.
And perfect time to go to break. Hour number 2, uncensored with Ye. Nick Fuentes, I'm your guest host here in Insane Asylum World, because the whole world's crazy. All of us are nuts. This is Twilight Zone 2.0. We will be
Don't
right
point
back.
at me when you say that.
No, I'm talking about all of us. The whole world's crazy. It is crazy. Everybody's crazy. I believe that. I'm saying the guest host here because these guys are hosting. We'll be right back with hour number 2.
Yo, this is.
Yo, Alex.
This is just comedy at best. He's just sitting there. Don't point at me. Come on, bro. Hey, man.
At Alex Jones. Basically, by saying the whole world is crazy, we're all crazy, it's a way to make it less serious.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're crazy, then don't listen to us. The whole world is crazy.
He's trying to get it out. Yeah, you're right.
He was trying to get out
guys,
the whole show.
Guys, this whole show is just a setup. Don't know how we got here.
You might be thinking maybe it's a setup again. So Alex might be thinking that the setup is against him. Because he filed for I saw that he
filed for bankruptcy. Yes, you're right. He filed for bankruptcy after that case.
Yeah. So yeah. He's not trying to get more claims against him.
Yeah. And whatever he's trying to get, I don't know what it is, but
going off and all the media is going off and say this is InfoWars, right? So you got some info warriors on both sides of you, and you fought for us. You've been fighting this battle for a long time, Alex, and we just got to salute you as a Christian and as American, because you paved the way to make braver soldiers like us today. It's like Terminator Part 10 happening right now.
Wow. All right. We got to go to break. We're going to get Laura Loomer on. We're going to get Ollie Alexander. I'm demanding come on. One of the smartest guys that know in politics. And we're going to just continue. Owen Schroyer is going to come on. We're going to continue on as long as you guys want to go. We'll take breaks and stuff too, and get Ye to eat something or whatever. Me and Nick got something he hasn't eaten yet, and I
stay fasting.
That's right. He won't eat. I'm trying to get him to eat. So I'm like Italian, manja. So we're gonna.
I gotta watch my accounts because they've been frozen by the Jewish banks. So I need to watch my meals.
Well, CNN says white people are evil Nazis. So.
He's trying to go to the break. This dude just takes the wheel and goes total different routes. What is this, man? What is this? But it's not done yet. He's not done.
I mean, I disagree with both statements, but I get the pros.
I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at.
Oh my goodness! Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh man! Well, I have to disagree with that.
Alex Jones was nervous as hell.
Yo, that's a nervous. If that ain't a nervous laugh, I don't know what is.
Could you play it back one more time? Because
I will play it. I'll gladly play that one because this is.
Because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other.
I don't like the word evil next to Nazis. I think we need to look at.
Already, it started. It started here. It started here.
Oh my goodness! Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh man! Well, I have to disagree with that. But listen, we're gonna go to break. I'm the crazy one here. We're all crazy. The whole world's crazy, and the whole power.
Yo, he said I'm the crazy one. Oh man, you know how hard you have to try to pull what Kanye is pulling out. It's almost impossible. It's almost impossible. Let's play it again because this is.
Yo, the laugh, man. He does it twice.
The second one is the craziest.
Oh my goodness! Just because you don't
think we need to look at.
Oh my goodness! Just because you don't like one group doesn't mean the other. But look,
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Oh man! Well, I have to disagree with that. But listen, we're gonna go to break. I'm the crazy one here. We're all crazy. The whole world's crazy, and the whole power structure is coming down. This is absolutely lit. This is lit. Number one show in the world right now. Everybody's tuned in everywhere. Yay. Everybody, I appreciate you being here. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back and play that my favorite promo with Ye, and then we're going to air the Trudeau clip, and then go right back to Ye. Stay with us.
Yo.
This is the. I have nothing to say, man. His laughter tells you everything you need to know about that situation.
Yeah, this guy.
His laughter is. Yeah. Sorry, continue. You have the.
No,
floor.
I interrupted you.
No, but I mean, come on, man. It's even Alex is sitting there like, what the heck did I get myself into?
Yeah.
But yeah, continue.
Yeah, no. So it's a couple of things. You see, again, he did it a couple of times because it's a 3-hour show. This was a 3-hour show. A couple of times in the show, he had to stop. So Alex Jones had to stop to say, I don't agree with with everything he's saying. At first, he didn't do it explicitly, but as the show progressed, he found it
important. He had to put his foot down, man. Come on. RJ, let's be honest. If someone is talking crazy on our show, we have to even. It's his fault that he invited him, but come on.
Yeah, and again, to your point, Ye definitely, wherever Ye goes, numbers go up, views go up. So it's good for Alex Jones to get out of bankruptcy as fast as possible.
You need that money.
But at the same time, I can understand that he doesn't want, because he knows he knows what's at stake if he gets labeled because if he gets labeled as a Nazi or something to that extent. So it's
person of interest as well in this case.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's clear that he doesn't want to align. He wants to make it clear that his thoughts and opinions do not align with Ye's thoughts and opinions.
Mhm.
But that's one thing. But again, so I want to point this out again. We talked about Nick Fuentes. He's sitting there. He's just sitting and laughing, man. He's having a ball.
He's having a ball.
ball. He's enjoying the ride. He has a parachute, and he's just enjoying
He's sitting
the
in
ride.
the back of the car.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, it's good. We need to have viewers. Please let us know what you think in the chat. We're curious to know your thoughts on this matter. But it seems to me, KaiR, and viewers, subscribers as well, thank you all for your support. We truly appreciate it. But yeah, it just seems to me that Ye needs people around him that can help him. And I don't think Nick is that dude, man. Nick is just along for the ride. And if Ye crashes, he's not gonna call him up to check how he's doing, etc. So yeah.
Crash dummy. I mean, it ties in a previous show name. Are you a crash dummy? But then that was more like the show was about divorce. But
yeah, was it had a different context?
Yeah. So this is also a part. I mean, there are a lot of moments where you ask yourself, dude, what am I watching? This was one of them as well.
Came in and was talking to us, and I said, is this a plant? I don't know, but this was the greatest theologist that I've met, and I had him come to a Bible study. We were working on the walk to the house. I don't like to call it a campaign. We're working to the walk to.
Yeah, hold on. This is a hard break at the end of the hour. Stations rejoin us. I skipped the other break. We got to have this. We're back in 2 minutes. We got to do this hard break. And I asked, you want to put a website out where people can actually hear what you have to say? Or?
I want you to remind me what I'm saying so I can give this explanation.
No, you told me on the phone the story.
I need to tell the people, though.
No, you will. I'm going to remember. It's the amazing homeless guy comes in.
Yeah.
And he gives you this incredible word. All right.
I don't care about the website. I care about Jesus Christ and people knowing that.
I get it. But they also got to know where to actually find what you're actually saying.
Only place to find it is in the Bible. My website is the Bible.
Nick, where do people find what you're doing?
Cozy.tv/Nick and the Bible.
All right.
Yo, Nick is using the plug-in. He's using the plug, man.
He's definitely, and I told you, man, he's using earlier the show I said this, man.
Yeah.
The only one who's everyone is on the up, everyone is plugging their products.
Yeah.
Ye is on the way down.
Down, yeah, definitely, yeah. Look at him, man, a happy camper.
He's having a ball.
A happy camper.
You're right on that one. He's having a ball.
He doesn't care about Ye. No.
Probably the best situation he's had in years.
Yeah. Even he can expect. He didn't expect what's happening. Yeah. Crazy, man, crazy.
It's crazy if you think about it, and this is the last part I'm gonna show. This is there was one last part where he well, I have two parts. I don't know which one you would prefer, RJ. I have a part where where at the end of the show, let's go to that part because I think that's the part which is the most interesting. At the end of the show, let's see, around. I have to look at it. Give me a second. In the meanwhile, can you? Can
I what?
Okay. Plug the
Bible.
No, not the Bible. Well, plug the website, the Instagram, and yeah.
Yeah, guys. So thank you everyone for your support. We truly appreciate it, guys. We're seeing growth. We are seeing growth in our views. The views are going way faster than we anticipated. We are improving by the show. So next show, you guys will hear definitely a different sound. So we're upgrading with the show, and we do it because we like it. And when we receive your feedback, both on the live shows, but also on the clips we drop during the week, yeah, it really motivates us. So we read. I mean, at this point, we can still read all the comments, and we do that. And definitely, guys, it's very encouraging to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for your support. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe as well, because that also helps us. So not only liking the video, but also subscribing to our channel. If you can share the content with people, your friends, family, people who might be interested in these topics, please do so. We greatly appreciate it, because that also helps us. It helps us with the algorithm. And of course, guys, follow us on our socials, Facebook and Instagram at Double Touch Show, both on Facebook and Instagram. Please follow our pages. There we drop both graphics, so information about clips or shows that we'll be doing, but also funny stories. We just but it's definitely, so we're upgrading those platforms as well by the week. But guys, we really appreciate the support you're giving us. So please keep supporting us. Thank you so much. And if there's any topic you guys want to hear about, or you guys want us to talk about, please let us know in the comments. We might pick it up for one of the next shows.
So this is the part where at the end of the show, like RJ already said, at a certain point you see Alex basically more and more denouncing and asking more questions. He's pushing much more back. And at the end of the show, this happens basically. Of course, I need to press on the other.
Ari, Rom. Don't worry. It's going to be all Christian, Rom.
You are something else. Look, you look really friendly and nice, but with that mask, you look evil as hell. Let me just say this in closing. I've done a lot of study. I think Hitler was a really bad guy, and I repudiate what Hitler did. I understand that the British intelligence set him up and used him.
I like Hitler.
I don't like Hitler. And I know you're trying to be shocking with that.
I'm not trying to be shocking. I like Hitler. I do not. The Holocaust is not what happened. Let's look at the facts of that. And Hitler has a lot of redeeming qualities.
So tell us, you think Hitler was the good guy in World War II?
I think God says man should not kill. We should not have wars, period. None of us should be killing anybody. Ukraine and the streets of Chicago, all violence should stop, and we should all serve Christ. That's what I feel. And I feel like I love everyone accordingly, from all the way from the Balenciagas to the Hitlers.
Let me tell you a story.
Hold on, sir.
Okay.
To Ari Emanuel, to Jamie Dimon, to the people who, what's that?
Got an Amber Alert. Here's what I'm saying.
Wow.
My grandfather would never tell World War II stories. And after he died, we read over his stuff, and he never even told my dad all the stuff he did and everything. But it was all in their letters and commendations. He told me, he said, kid, I was like 8 years old.
I saw Amber Alerts is when my ex-girlfriend Amber was doing something in the streets. I got to
before he died, I was like 5 years old. The point was, and I was like, tell me a World War II story. Tell me a World War II story. He said, okay, well, we came in out of Africa. We came into Italy. He was there 3 years. He said by the time they got to Germany, they went into this death camp, and there were piles of dead bodies 100 feet tall with blackbirds eating people's eyeballs out. All I'm telling you is that just because you hate the globalists and what they're doing, and I get it. Klaus Schwab's grandfather was a Nazi. I think there's Nazis above the ADL.
Yeah, but Nazis are like kind of cool.
Because you like their uniforms.
No, these are people. Everyone's a people. I love all people.
So you love the Zionists.
I love this. I said that earlier in the show.
All right. Do you have any comments on Hitler?
I have to agree with Ye. Who did Ye say he hated? Ye didn't say he hated anybody. Why isn't anybody listening to him? Who did Ye say he hated? Ye didn't say he hated anybody. Why isn't anybody listening to him? He said, I love this person. I love the people who are trying to take away my children. I love this person. He never said.
But I don't think listen, I'm just getting it totally clear. But I think
Alex,
Stalin.
the same thing. You did the same thing.
Stalin is horrible. Hitler is horrible. Mao is horrible.
No. I love all of those.
You love Mao Zedong?
Absolutely. Mao brought.
Well, clarify that. You're saying you're like Christ-like. You love everybody.
Yeah.
No matter. You love Jim Jones. You love Jeffrey Dahmer.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's clarify. I get to.
But it didn't need clarification.
Yeah, he did actually. He actually did need clarification.
Because he said, I'm starting with.
Yeah. I'll continue the clip.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's clarify. I get to.
But it didn't need clarification because he said, I'm starting with the Bible. He's ending with the Bible. And that's what. But they did it to you, Alex, because you had a guy who came here. And you're like, I'll be Satan. I'll be the evil guy. I did Sandy Hook. Remember, you did the same thing that he's doing right now.
All right. Absolutely. Yay, we appreciate you. Anything else you want to add?
This dude, yo, he heard Sandy Hook. He heard Sandy Hook. He just closed out. Let's move on.
I'm not allowed to.
I don't want to hear that.
My lawyers advise me not to talk about it.
Yo.
But who's the guy who grabbed the mic at the end?
Ali Alexander.
Yeah.
Ali was also banned, and he was sued also, from what I remember.
Listen.
Tell me.
That's what I meant to say. So, but there's a difference between loving. That's what I don't recall, because we talked about this, but I don't recall if we talked about this offline before the show or in the show. But love, or it was before the show, I think.
Before the show, yeah.
Love is a very broad concept. So you can say, I love cake. I love to shower. I love to go on walks. I love you. Love is just a word. Now, the Bible, and I always use the Bible because I know of the terms. There's probably a lot of ways to dissect the word love, but I know you have in Bible, you have agape, I think it's called. You have eros, you have philia. So these are all different types of love. And
Agape, philautia, pragma, mania, ludus, storch, and you had already two other two.
Yeah. So when you say I love something, what are you talking about? You know? Now, apparently, if Ye can say he loves the Zionists and he loves the Nazis, I think it's safe to say that he's talking about agape, which is I think only God can love as agape, but he calls himself Jesus. So, but
I think that's what he's alluding to.
Yeah. So basically, I love everyone. You know, Jesus said, "Love everyone like you love yourself." Something to that extent. So
yeah.
Okay, I can understand that. You can follow that. That can, that train of thought. But that's what I mean to say. He just says, I love the Nazis. He doesn't say, he's not strategic enough to say what he really means, which is, I love the Nazis just like I love the Zionists, just like I love. So, because I'm coming from a place of love, because if he expressed himself that way, it wouldn't have caused a commotion. But it's Alex Jones, not even Nick Fuentes. He was just laughing. It was Alex Jones who helped him, and Ali who actually helped clarify what he's saying. So that's one part. But the other part is, he also used the word like. Now, liking something, you can say I like you like I like everyone else, because you can only use the word
like a fat cake loves cake.
Like a fat boy loves cake.
Yeah.
So
maybe he likes. No, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah. So
continue.
So he just uses the word, but that's why it's easy for people to take what he's saying, interpret it in a certain way, and run with it, because he gives people that space. He gives them the opportunity to do it. And now, to go back to the Lex Fridman show, now he said, we mentioned that he said afterwards that he felt like he was set up on the Lex Fridman show, but he wasn't set up. He talks the way he talks, which gives people, especially the mainstream media, especially his ops, the opportunity to form, to interpret it the way they want to and run with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the consequences. It's what you always say. You're free. You have freedom of expression. You have freedom, but you don't have
no freedom of consequences.
No freedom of consequences.
Yeah, so that's the part of his visit to Alex Jones. A disastrous visit. I think it really shattered his any kind of credibility he had left. If you look at the articles that have been released this past few days, and also the responses on Twitter and YouTube, it's very devastating to his image as a performer. First of all, it was announced that his deal, which we talked about in an earlier show with Parler, was not going to be it was going to be discontinued. They came to agreement that he's not going to buy it anymore. Other than that, people are trying to put a petition together to get his solo work off streaming platforms. I'm curious if this is going to work. But we'll see. We'll see how that ends. Even Lex chimed in. Lex said, "Yay, praising Hitler breaks my heart." Says it all. Says it all. And you had Akon. The headline said Akon defends Kanye for saying he loved Nazi and admired Adolf Hitler. So if you look into what he really said, he didn't really defend him. He just said basically that, and that's why you don't only read headlines. You need to read the actual article. It basically said that he basically said that he's okay with people actually letting people actually talk, and based on that start a discussion and give your opinion, and to not just cut people off or ban them without having them expressing their thoughts, because otherwise you cannot counter their opinion or give them a better alternative. We also had Andrew Schultz and Patrick Bet-David talking about this. Let's see what they had to say.
Did you see what Kanye just did?
I mean, this is a wild guy. It's rare that you're on a podcast with Alex Jones and Alex is the normal one.
Yo, I was thinking the same the whole show.
Can it go? Can the volume of the video go higher?
Of course it can. I think slightly a bit higher, not much. This is the highest I can go.
Chill out, dude. Jesus.
What is
Andrew
happening?
Schultz just hit it. When Alex
Go to
Jones,
commercial. Go to commercial.
yeah, when Alex Jones is distancing himself from you, you got some problems.
And when he's
Alex, Alex is just like, no, Kanye, we don't fuck with Nazis, right? Right?
He's
Like,
giving him the.
I love Hitler, bro. Yeah, Jesus. Are you this when Alex Jones is deferring to extremeness?
Oh God!
And he's just like,
if you get the calm down from him, it's over.
Unbelievable.
Can I let me just read it? Let me read it because this just happened. So Kanye West tells Alex Jones, "I like Hitler." This is what he says. Ye's appearance on far-right conspiracy theory outlet InfoWars turned into a chance to preach anti-Semitic hatred. Now, keep in mind, this is a Daily Beast story. Yep. As the star formerly known as Kanye West praised Adolf Hitler with the within the first 30 minutes of the broadcast. Ye, whose face was entirely hidden behind a black mask. If you can show that, Malik in the back, not Malik here, began
I'm calling
praising
him Malik
this.
from now on, bro.
Genocidal journal.
That beard, he's like Philadelphia. That's what you are.
So here's what happened. He says, "You're not Hitler," Jones said. "You're not a Nazi." Well, I see good things about Hitler. This is what he said. Later adding, "Every human being has value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler." Now, this is what Kanye just said.
And then he gave highways. He gave credit to highways to Hitler for some reason.
Yeah, he didn't make highways.
I don't think Hitler made highways.
No, I don't think so.
But
he's
he was
trying
like,
to say that everyone has something good about
Well,
them.
no,
Yeah.
Hitler was known for being very much a. If you read,
I thought you were gonna be. He could make a highway.
No. But what he was a guy that liked buildings. If you read the book Mein Kampf for some of his material, he was a guy that liked buildings. So if he says that, I'm not sure if he built roads or not, but that was his area of interest.
Yeah, but like okay, I'm not sticking up for Kanye.
Anything you want to say about this first part?
Yeah. So what I really like, and I alluded to it at the beginning of the show about Patrick Bet-David, he always has. It seems like he's always level-headed. So he doesn't get caught up into the story. Like if you compare him with Adam, who's sitting next to him, he gets caught up and all emotional in the story and says, "Yeah, I can't believe this. Why would you do that?" And Patrick is always level-headed because he truly tries to understand the other side. So to me, that's definitely something to admire. And to that extent, I think his way of thinking, his way of doing things, his way of listening to people and entering into dialogue with people is something to aspire. Would really love him on the show one day, KaiR.
Well, he has a social media, so we can approach him.
We can approach it. Yeah.
Makes the entry barrier a little bit lower.
Well,
at least for the contact part. I'm not saying he will come easy, but
yeah,
it's easier to reach him than to reach Milo.
That's true.
Anyway, let's continue.
At all, but it's like going off age. Like what if in all this craziness, you're like, dude, he bowled a 235 consistent. He was a fucking good. Yes, he did what he did. But did you ever see the guy bowl? He had some good. You can't say he didn't have anything.
But
good.
it's one of those things where it's like, do you need to say it?
Exactly that. Shut the fuck. Okay, he can
Yeah.
bowl.
Yeah,
We don't
yeah,
need to hear about it, bro.
Like Bill Cosby made a mean cup of coffee.
But guess what? He put shit in it at the end.
So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, I think that he's trying to be, inflammatory. The thing about Kanye is that none of these ideas are his own. Kanye is just finding out that he's not as good a producer of intellectual thought as he is of music.
I agree.
And what he's always done is just sampled things. And that's what a great producer will do. He'll be like, ooh, that sound is really great. That sound is really great. When I blend them together, I can make some of the greatest music ever. But now he's doing that with rhetoric. And he's just trying to get attention, which is what he did obviously with music. And it's just not, he's not good enough at it. He's not.
This is what I alluded to at the beginning of the show. This is a brilliant way to describe Kanye. So what we're seeing now of Kanye of Ye, because he's good at. You mentioned it at the beginning as well. Ye is like a sponge. He can absorb information on a very high rate. But then he samples. He doesn't know how to structure it in a way that will get his point across towards the average person. And you need to know who your audience is. If you're a writer and you want to write books for kids, but you don't know how to speak that language, your books won't go over the way it should. If you want to write romance novels, but you think it needs to be written differently. And it can be written differently, but if you can't connect with the audience, they won't read it, no matter how good it may be. So same goes, you can sample, but if the people cannot understand it and you can't bring it to their level, they won't understand you.
Let's continue.
Not good enough at making these things cool. He can make music cool. He can take music you would think you would never listen to and put it together and you go, holy shit, this is a masterpiece. He's not good enough at talking to make the things that he says cool and fun. Now, he can be hilarious. It's undeniable. The guy's, even when he's saying the most fucked up things, you're like, holy shit, is he really, did he bring out a Yahoo for Netanyahu? He brought a, did you see that? He brought out a net and a Yahoo because he's talking about Benjamin Netanyahu.
That is fucking
You didn't
hilarious.
see
When I have not seen
same
this.
interview.
With Alex
No.
Jones?
What?
You gotta be kidding me.
Talking about the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah. I goes, I gotta talk to my buddy Benjamin Netanyahu. He goes, Netan? And then
Oh my god, dude.
You laugh.
That's
You can't
that
laugh.
is hilarious, bro. That is
So let me ask you, how much of this, like
Yeah.
on Twitter, I posted the story, and the guy responds back and he says something which, on what response?
Yeah, so goes to show you, it's, I think a majority of people aren't, I think the media, to be honest, is the one pushing, pushing this, pushing the let's say cancellation of Ye. I believe a majority of people, they agree or don't agree, but they just go on with their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like they laugh about it, like we're laughing about it. And we have, of course, our opinions, but it doesn't affect our day-to-day lives. You know? So
I want to chime in real quick because well, he said it during the interview with Alex, and it was repeated here. And I just looked it up real quick regarding the highway, which they talked about that Hitler invented. Hitler didn't invent the concept of the highway. What he did invent, or at least what he claims. So what he started the project during Nazi Germany. They started the project to create the modern, or at least a modern, let's call it Reichsautobahn, which is basically a modern version of the car network. So the road network.
The road, yeah.
Which is a concept, which is the highway. So he actually invented it. It already existed, but they basically updated it in a sense, created a better version of it.
So let's say,
not saying that he's the greatest man ever. Yo, guys, chill out. I'm just saying, I'm trying to clarify what Kanye said and their question. Did you really create it?
And let's say you should have people around you that can explain that to you. And I'm saying that, so that's what I mean. I mean,
the small things.
And I think Nick Fuentes knows a lot of these things because I believe that he's the main source of Ye's. It's terrible.
He's Kanye's Wikipedia.
Yes. So he knows a lot, but he doesn't step in. You know, he just laughs and plugs his website and the Bible.
Yeah. And the Bible, yeah. Just to make sure he's on the same page. So, with all this, it resulted in a Twitter ban by Elon. He basically said, I tried my best. Despite that, he again violated our rules against incitement to violence. Account will be suspended. Elon, fix Kanye, please. Oh, we can fix him.
How?
Neuralink. They are going to release, I think in a month or so, they are going to start the official trial.
Yeah?
Yeah. So it might be something. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think what Ye needs is good friends. That's what I need.
Well, if he has Neuralink in his head, then he can access the source directly. Doesn't need he doesn't need Nick anymore.
Yeah.
With his bad sources. Anyway, guys, I'm just trying to make a joke out of this. So Kanye got suspended for sharing basically a swastika, which is the sign of one of the, I think it's called Jesus, can't remember the name of the group. Anyway, it's not on this page, I think. No, I saw it someplace else. Anyway, he was basically banned, and with the banning, the story ends for Kanye on Twitter. And I'm not sure if with this closing interview, this could be also the end of Kanye on our platform. RJ.
Yeah, I don't think this is the end of Kanye, but I think, yeah, he's probably gonna stay relevant as long as he's not in jail or in the.
Yo. That's a wild statement, but I do agree with you on that. Agree with you on that.
If he's not in jail or in, let's say, a mental institution, if they don't put them there, who's they? If the prosecutor or doctors, I don't know, whatever, put him in an institution, as long as he's free, he's gonna keep moving and he's gonna stay relevant because he does know how to find attention and keep it. So I think he will stay relevant. I think with regards to the Double Thought show, we want to touch on different avenues as well, other aspects, other themes. And so you're definitely going to see less of Kanye. I mean, if there's something, we might touch on it, but we do want to explore other topics. We don't want to become a Ye-centric channel.
YouTube channel.
Because that might mean that we will get suspended. So for that reason...
Well, unless we start talking crazy.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I do agree with you on that, and we talked about this before the show, and we want to explore more topics, and what we've noticed is that it seemed like we were basically becoming a weekly Kanye update YouTube, and we don't want to do that. We want to talk about different topics, and that's what we try to aim. Talk about different topics, give an objective perspective on these topics, and have the audience opinions as well.
Yeah,
the audience opinions. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
With that being said, I think we can transition now, since we're talking about Chief Twit, Musk. We can start talking about him, because yesterday he basically announced that he was going to release the Kraken.
Did you say the crackhead?
No, the Kraken. The Kraken.
Yeah, I know.
No crackheads here. We don't exploit crackheads. We only no. Yeah, anyway, they didn't want, maybe really good thing I didn't say what I thought I was going to say a second ago. Don't want to end up on the FBI pyramid on top of the pyramid of
Yeah.
anyway. Yes, Twitter. Elon Musk basically yesterday announced that they were going to start releasing the Twitter files, as they call it officially. The Twitter files. Yes, the Twitter files. The Twitter files were basically a bunch of emails, information, data about what was happening around from 2000 and probably before that, but it happened. It became basically more often where Twitter was suppressing tweets and thoughts in a sense. And with this Twitter file releases, Elon and Twitter basically wants to give a view, transparency to everyone who is using Twitter, and also, in a sense, distancing themselves from the previous regime in the company. Maybe even opening up lawsuits towards the previous people, not him himself, but people who are influenced by this censorship. So they started releasing the first Twitter files. They were going to release much more this week, today, I mean. But yesterday they started releasing the first ones. And basically Matt Taibbi received all the files from Elon or Twitter, and he has the privilege to release the data, and he did it in 36 tweets, the first installment of the Twitter files. Maybe it's going to be a weekly thing. This is also great for I mean this is also, you can look at it also as a marketing campaign for Twitter, because people want to come watch this stuff. So the impressions, I'm pretty sure Matt will have one of the best impression stats, I will say ever, but at least in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
On Twitter.
Yeah, because I thought at first I didn't know who he was, but he's just a journalist. He's a writer, and that's actually genius of Musk for not dropping it on any other platform but his own. And every impression, every tweet, look at it. Every tweet gets its own reaction, get its own comment. So this is genius a genius move by Twitter.
Yeah. 10,000 retweets, 10,000, 14,000 retweets. Let's go through them real quick. 42,000 retweets, 22,000 retweets, 13,000 retweets, 23, 14, 11, 7.5, 16, 22, 22, 20, 10. So it's a lot of retweets. It's a lot of retweets.
Yeah.
I think the biggest one is this one, I think, right? Yeah, it's the one with the handle these.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have the floor.
Yeah, thanks, KaiR. Yeah, so I dove into this matter a bit deeper. So basically, what the Twitter tweets are about, the Twitter files are about. Well, there are various segments, but initially, what it comes down to is that there is enough evidence that Twitter has suppressed information. They've already been criticized of trying to control speech, trying to cancel certain opinions, cancel certain people with certain differential opinions from their platform, either canceling, suspending them, or removing them altogether. And this is basically the start. This particular set of tweets, and you see them numbered from 1 to 36, I believe, at this moment.
Yes.
But the first 5 are just introduction, right? It's just to tell you what Twitter. The introduction to the whole controversy. Tweet number 4, for example, says that Twitter, in its conception, was a brilliant tool for enabling instant mass communication, making a true real-time global conversation possible for the first time. KaiR, I haven't. I have a Twitter account. I don't use it, but I believe you do tweet, or you used to tweet more. I don't know. What can you tell me about your Twitter activity?
Yeah, so I started in my college days tweeted for a long time, and a couple of years back, basically because of the climate and I mean, I followed a lot. Twitter was one of the places where I got a lot of, not all of my information, but I learned a lot about different topics, and at a certain point it started to become more, I don't know how to say it. It wasn't like it used to be. And I basically left the platform. I still have my accounts and a burner account.
But can you try to formulate why you stopped? So what it is, what it was, what you found that changed? Was it the people on the platform?
It was the people, the feeling. It was the same stuff. There was no improvement. It was at a certain point, if you tweet for I think I tweeted when I decided to do it less.
Mm-hmm.
I had been tweeting for probably 8 years, 9 years or something like that. 8, I might be wrong. No. Probably 7 or 6. So it was basically, there was no development. It was the same stuff. At a certain point, I was getting tired of it, and I think that was also one of the things why the business of Twitter was not doing that very well the last few years.
Because with regards to the whole speech, what's the term when you say you limit speech? The whole limit speech
censorship.
Yeah, the censorship narrative. So the writer of the tweets, Matt Taibbi, he says in tweet number 5 that in an early conception, Twitter more than lived up to its mission statement. And what was its mission statement? Giving people the power to create and share ideas and information instantly. And here it comes, without barriers. Now, as time progressed, however, the company was slowly forced to add those barriers. Some of the first tools of controlling speech were designed to combat the likes of spam and financial fraudsters. So, of course, these are valid reasons to do it. But as the time went on, certain people of the Twitter staff began using these tools for other purposes, right? And what was the main purpose? To manipulate speech, manipulate how people should say something and what people should say. It started with how people should say something. So you're not allowed to use, slurs and all those type of things. But that gradually changed into what people should say. And more importantly, what they shouldn't say. But of course, they don't tell you what you should say. But if they penalize people who say things that they think that you shouldn't say, then of course, what's left is what you should say. Now, we're at number 8, right? Yes.
Yes.
In 2020, it was a routine. It was common practice that tweets were deleted. And for political purposes, political or certain agendas, right? And as you can see, the communication was very simple. Someone, probably a supervisor, or someone in task with finding tweets that might need to be screened, would suggest certain tweets, and another person would reply with handled or handled these. Basically saying, delete it. Now, it was also common practice that political parties from both sides, so both Republicans and Democrats, would send emails or messages of tweets that they thought would need to be reviewed and or removed. So you had people from both parties trying to influence speech. Now, if you go to 11, there it says that although both sides had, so both sides of the political spectrum sent out review and or removal requests, it was mostly the Democratic Party that had power and influence, simply because a majority of the staff members were Democrats. So that's the reason why a lot of people had the impression in 2020, 2021, 2022 onwards that Twitter is actually a left organization. Now, you had, of course, Jack Dorsey, who was the CEO of Twitter, but he actually wasn't in the circle. Of course he can't. He's the CEO. He has so much things to do. He's not the one on the micro level analyzing tweets. In fact, he even questioned certain practices at certain tweets. Why would you remove this? And we're going to see that later on. But of course, you had the head of legal, and you had the head of this, and you had the manager of that, and you had the supervisor of this. And these were just the group who factually had power in Twitter to manipulate what could be said. Now, after that, so after that general, so the first few tweets up to 16 more or less, or 15 were just general tweets. But afterwards, they go deeper, or more specific, I have to say, into the Hunter Biden laptop controversy. For those of you who don't know, Hunter Biden is the son of Mr. President Joe Biden. Hunter Biden is known to be, aside from Joe Biden's son, a drug addict as well.
Allegedly.
Okay. Allegedly.
We all saw the pictures, but it's still alleged. My eyes could have been wrong.
Yeah.
Could have been seeing wrong.
Yeah. There are tweets, there are emails, etc.
There are videos.
But if we continue, so it started in 2020 with the New York Times, which is a right-winged newspaper. So I might even say a far-right newspaper, posted a story about Hunter Biden's laptop. And basically, the story is that Hunter Biden went to the store to repair his laptop, and the store has a policy that if you don't come pick it up after 3 months, they assume you're not going to pick it up, and so they keep it, or they do whatever they want with it. Hunter Biden only had to pay $85 to get his laptop back. All of this could have been avoided, but he probably used it on coke, allegedly. So what happened was...
You're the lawyer, man. Oh my God. Anyway, let's continue.
So what happened was, at a particular point in time, the New York Times posted a story about Hunter Biden's laptop, which allegedly contained information that could negatively affect his father, Joe Biden, who was at that point in time running for president. I think there were like 20 days or 20-something days left until the presidential elections. So it dropped. So the story dropped shortly before the could be 2 months as well, by the way. But it's like it dropped shortly because before the presidential elections of 2020. And basically, the owner of the laptop shop informs the authorities that he had the laptop, and shortly thereafter, or shortly after, he received a subpoena, I think, to deliver the laptop, which he did. But what he also did was, apparently he made copies and he sent it to Rudy Giuliani's attorney. And so during that time, right before the election, we could see the left media trying to suppress that story, trying to make it not important. Trump was interviewed, I believe it was 60 Minutes, or 60 Minutes. And when he mentioned the laptop, the interviewer said, yeah, but that's not confirmed. Basically brushing it off. They didn't want to talk about it. And what happened afterwards? Joe Biden got elected. 2 years later, which is basically now, the Republicans gain control in Congress, more control. And to Biden's not luck, to Biden's bad luck, Elon Musk gained control of Twitter. And basically, what basically happened is that Biden, who said a bunch of times that, he said, yeah, there's no, what you're saying, it's false news. It's implanted. It's also a story they came up with. It's implanted. The information, there has been information implanted by the Russians, remember, because they wanted to say that the Trump, colluded with the Russians. So the Russians implanted information on the laptop to make it seem as though that's the case, but there's nothing that can tie me with what my son is, what you're accusing my son of. And the son was saying, no, it's not true. Hunter Biden was saying, no, it's all not true, not true. Everything was implanted. Apparently, guys, the information was not planted. No, the information was not planted. There's evidence, and I will say allegedly for KaiR, that Biden allegedly, just to keep it short, helped for his son. So his son was a board member or member of the supervisory body of a Ukrainian company, was being investigated by the Ukrainian prosecutor's office, and Joe Biden acting as vice president during that time. That was 2015 or 2016. So it was got the man fired from his job. There's also emails insinuating that Hunter Biden is holding positions in companies on behalf of his father, and that Hunter Biden is receiving money for campaigns on behalf of his father, so that Biden ultimately profited from money from abroad, which is illegal. Biden, of course, refused, possibly because he forgot due to his old age. Now, Twitter, with the Twitter page, now to get back to the Twitter, the Twitter files, it appears that Twitter, so not only the left media, but also Twitter was suppressing the information. And it started, we can start at 18, where it says that Twitter took extraordinary steps to suppress the story, removing links and posting warnings that it may be unsafe. They even blocked transmissions. The White House spokeswoman, who was at that time Kayleigh McKinney, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, was locked out of her account for tweeting about the story. So for tweeting about the story. So of course they asked Twitter, why would you do that? Could you please take a closer look? And the answer they received, and you can check it out in number 21. Basically, thanks for reaching out to us. Per checking, the user was bounced by site integrity for violating our hacked materials policy. Okay. But many people, including Jack Dorsey himself said, hey, but this something is not right here. If you can see at 23, the decision was made at the highest levels of the company, but without the knowledge of CEO Jack Dorsey, with former head of legal, policy, and trust, not even going to try it, Gade, playing a key role. So basically this was happening behind Jack Dorsey's back. They did whatever they wanted to do. And if you look at 26, tweet number 26, it's basically some correspondence between Gate and Joel Roth. Joel Roth saying, hey, the policy, guys, the policy basis is hacked material. As discussed, this is an emergent situation where the facts remain unclear, given the severe risks here and lessons of 2016 were erring on the side of including a warning and preventing this content from being amplified. And Gate was like, okay, what is the warning that will come up? And Rod then answers, when you click the link, you'll see the generic unsafe URL message. Not ideal, but it's the only thing we have. So, in other words, Twitter received pushback for blocking the messages. Instead of saying, okay, we're not going to block it, what they did was they put the unsafe message to scare people off from going to the site to watch the article. Because of course, if you click a link and they tell you it's unsafe, you think, of course, of spam, of malware, of all those things.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of crazy, though.
It's crazy. And just one final note, there was only one Democrat who opposed the banning. And you can find it at number 32, which is Congressman Kana, who basically said that, hey, this is a violation. I'm saying it seems like a violation of the First Amendment. If there's a hack of classified information, that's one thing. But if there's a story about a hack, information that might or might have been hacked, you can't block people from getting to the story. So what you see is that only one Democrat actually opposed the Hunter Biden files. But at the end of the day, even if it comes out now, the information is coming out now, it doesn't really affect what already happened. Because what would have happened if the information had not been censored and people would have gotten their hands on the information? Maybe the votes would have turned out differently. It doesn't really matter right now because Biden is not going for a second term, or at least he's not going to get elected a second term. I don't think he's going. I hope he's not going for a second term.
He's
and I know what KaiR is thinking. He's thinking like, He's thinking what a lot of us are thinking. We don't know if Biden will finish his first term.
Oh yeah, that's true. I've been thinking that for at least. I thought he wouldn't make it the first year, but I was way off.
Yeah. So, guys, what's interesting to see now is, I think this is just the first of many things that Musk will expose of Twitter, of how Twitter was basically managed. But this information confirms that Twitter was censoring speech for purposes that were not valid, which is evident by the fact that Twitter employees questioned questioned the censorship practices. Let's hope with Elon Musk that this will not continue and that people will have more freedom to express themselves the way they want to. Your thoughts, KaiR?
Well, this is so for the people who've been on Twitter and who have seen how Twitter was developing the last few years, you could clearly see that this was it seemed to be moving more a certain particular to a particular party or particular way of thought. You would see more and more people from the counter party, and we're talking about party as in left or right. More right-wing people were getting banned nilly-willy. And so I do think that this is, to me, it's not surprising. The question is, how big is this scandal actually? That's how it's if they have a point two. I mean, in general, if you look at the whole Hunter Biden story, this is a specific one. There were some talks in the hallway, as they say. You could hear people talk about this stuff happening.
Yeah.
The Hunter Biden story not really getting any traction on Twitter. Stuff being blocked, like I said, spam. Initially you couldn't even send it. Indeed, and this is, and the bigger question here is, I think it's also mentioned here in. I'm not sharing in this specific tweet. Complaining tech has grown so big that they can't even regulate themselves, so government may need to intervene. The question I think that has to be asked here is, I'm not talking about intervention, but the question is, as they always say, power corrupts absolutely. Can you trust organizations with people in them? Because people are always biased. Well, no matter no. Let me rephrase that. Not going down the Kanye road. People tend to be biased towards certain ways of thinking, and they will try to. Definitely in this day and time, people don't like to hear. They want to stay in their own bubble. They don't want to hear other thoughts. They don't want to expand their mind and learn new things. They just want to stay in their bubble, which is to me kind of crazy, but that's not me. Be my guest. I mean, if that's the way you want to live, I think it's okay. But people want to stay in their bubble, and you gotta ask yourself, like I said, do we want to trust is it possible that what people call misinformation sometimes is not really misinformation but biased? I think they call it, how do they call it? Fact checkers. Can fact checkers be biased towards, are they really fact checking, or are they fact checking to a certain lens?
Yeah.
That's the bigger question here.
Yeah.
Well, I always say, I've been saying this for years, when they introduce the fact checking stuff, who's gonna fact check the fact checker?
Yeah.
I think they have that system in the accountancy, where other accountancy firms have to audit each other so that it stays fair in a sense. But if there is no such thing as that for the fact checkers, basically any fact checker can fact check whatever through whatever lens they think is correct, and they, instead of giving you fact check information, they will give you censored or whatever is going through their lens.
Yeah.
Resulting in resulting in whatever topic being manipulated towards a certain end to a means.
Yeah.
Not gonna say the specific topic, but we all know what it was.
Yeah. If you look at just at this, and then we can move to the recap. If you look at the 36th tweet, and then the final paragraph, I think this is a good way to end this segment, and it also ties into what you said. I'm going to read it. The Democrats were in so I'm gonna just paraphrase what was said in the first one. The Democrats complained because they thought so. So that's a funny thing, right? The employees of Twitter were Democrats, a majority of them, and so they censored, or at least there were more employees that were Democrats than there were Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why more tweets were censored and more people were banned in favor of, let's say, the democratic agenda. But the Democratic Party, when they realized what was happening, they basically said, hey guys, what you're doing is way worse, because if you just let the story go, then it's a story. But now the story isn't Hunter Biden anymore. It's about censorship. And you make it look like we are the ones trying to censor speech. So the Democrats were like, hey guys, this is not working the way you think it's working. Right? And with that in mind, I'm going to read the last paragraph. The Democrats were in agreement. So social media needs to be moderated more because they're corrupting democracy and making all truth relative. When pushed on how the government might insist on that, consistent with the First Amendment, they demurred the First Amendment isn't absolute. This can be a show on its own, because the First Amendment isn't absolute. No fundamental rights is absolute. You're not allowed to delete someone, but you can delete that person in self-defense, etc., etc. So, but to me, what stands out, making all truth relative. Are they talking about? No, it can't be. Can they be using another word to talk about alternative facts.
Oh shit, that is true.
Hey, so yeah, man. I just wanted to close it on that note. KaiR, maybe you want to just send a thank you to people watching, etc. Before I continue with the recap. And
Yes, of course. I will do that. I want to thank everyone who's watching so far. We've seen a lot of people following the show for a pretty long time now. I mean, people are walking out right now, but I think that's a good thing that they've been watching for a long time. I want to thank you, everyone who's watching so far. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I think share your thoughts on this part, but also on the previous one. Let us know what you think about this Twitter move by Elon. Maybe he's doing great things. He's basically trying to clean the name of Twitter before he continues with making the next step within the development of Twitter to making it a prosperous company. But let us know what you think about this whole situation. Is it going to blow up bigger? Well, it will blow up bigger on Twitter than the previous situation. But will the media pick it up as well? Because I mean, it's not only Twitter is a stream where it's going to. It has to also go to the mainstream media, and if it doesn't break to there, people who don't have Twitter might not even know about this whole story. Yeah, so I want to thank you everyone for watching so far, the live and the rebroadcast. And yes, you have the floor.
Thanks, KaiR. Just a quick recap before we move on to your random thought of the day. Guys, as KaiR said, we really appreciate the support. Thanks for sticking in or sticking with us throughout the show. We talked about Kanye West, the recent developments, also with the disclaimer that after this show, we will not focus as much on Kanye West as we have for the last couple of weeks, or the last couple of shows, because we want to explore other topics as well. But with regards to today's show, in today's show, we talked about how Ye went to the Tim Pool podcast and basically walked out because he felt like Tim was trying to push him in the direction of having to explain himself why he refers to, let's say, his ops, the people who oppose him, the people who Ye sees as his enemies, why he limits them to a specific ethnic group. And we also reviewed a video of Ye on Alex Jones, where he seemingly wanted to keep talking about the specific ethnic group, which is strange because in the one show he walked away because he didn't want to talk about it, and in the other show when Alex Jones was trying to move from the topic and laughing, guys. So
it's a shame we have to leave this topic, but it's starting to become.
There's more to the world. There's more.
There's more to the world, but
there's more we want to talk about. But
let's say this way: at least we will keep laughing at the comical stuff that will continue to happen, because I don't think this is the end. But
yeah, no, definitely not. So we're not saying that. I mean, there might be some segments, but we're not going to dedicate whole shows.
Yeah,
at least not for the foreseeable future. We want to do other things as well. But guys, also after we finished the Ye, we also talked about the various reactions Ye received from both podcasts, amongst others of Lex Fridman, who both KaiR and I thought that was very respectful towards Ye, but Ye apparently feels like he felt set up. We also came to the conclusion that we don't believe that Ye has the right people around him, trustworthy people. It seems like he has leeches around him, just to say it. Maybe it's a bit harsh the way I'm formulating it, but Ye has everything to lose, and he's losing, at least, let's say, financial by the week, while all the people around him, the band Avengers, like KR calls them, they just go up. They just keep getting more and more views, more likes. Their stocks are rising while Ye's stock seems to be plummeting. And we just hope that Ye also has people around him, but not only that he has people around him, but that he's willing to be open to accept opinions and tips and advice from others who love him, who really love him, who might give him advice that he might not want to hear, but he might have to take in.
Tough love.
Beat
them up.
Yeah. And after that, of course, we talked about we just recently talked about the Twitter files, talked about how Twitter was basically censoring speech. So there's evidence that they were actively censoring speech, especially the last couple of years. And more specifically, we talked about the Hunter Biden files and basically how Twitter actively tried to suppress the information that Hunter Biden's laptop may contain files that that negatively affects Biden, because Joe Biden is father, the current U.S. president. Because if the stories are true, then Biden would have committed an illegal act or illegal acts, which might bring him penalties. Now he's almost gone from this earth, so probably no prosecution will take place. But yeah, it is something.
Physically or mentally or physically?
Mentally is gone already, man. And so now we're here with so that's a recap of the show. Of course, we started the show with my my random thought of the day, where I talked about where I talked about the Will Smith coming back, so doing an interview with Trevor Noah on the Daily Show, and how I hope that he's really in a better place. And before we continue with KR's random thought of the day, KR, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I wanted to share something before we close out, because I think this is important, but it's also something to I just saw. Even Lex Fridman responded on this the Twitter files. He said the Twitter files release is historic. This will strengthen our democracy. Transparency in social media companies is rare, but it's essential. This is why, in my opinion, this is historic and really great to see. Transparency helps, keeps people honest, and minimize undue influence from politics and money.
That's true.
Basically, summing up what we just said.
Yeah. So let's hope to that extent. I think I don't know about you, KR, but I really commend Musk for what he's doing. Let's hope he can continue, and let's hope other platforms can follow his example as well. With that being said, unless you have something else you wanted to share, KR, then please, KR.
Well, I have something to share. I have my thoughts to share, my random thoughts.
Cool. KR, so please entertain us with your random thought of the day.
Ding, 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 ding. December has come, guys. It's the holiday seasons.
Tis the season.
What?
That's what I say. Tis the season to be jolly.
Okay. I don't get. Yeah. Only thing I know, I do. But yeah. What RJ said. What only thing I care about right now, it's the season, and I think we talked about this in a previous show. It is a season to keep an eye out. If you haven't watched it, this is a previous show where we talked about keep an eye out on your partner during this time. Real quick. Guys or women, if there is a Christmas party, please go with your significant other to that one. Because about 31% of the first kisses between colleagues happened at the Christmas party.
You don't say, man. Yikes. You don't say, man.
Guys, it's that time of the year. Keep an eye out. My random thought of the day, I was thinking about it, and I was like, randomly, this thought came to mind, and you gotta keep it. You don't want to find out that your significant other kissed their work hubby or work wifey on the Christmas day. Keep an eye out, guys. I have to say, people take a L. You don't want to take a L during the season. At the end of the year, you gotta close it out with a bang. Well, not the Kanye bang. Let's put it that way. Gotta close it out on the up. You don't want to close it out between the sheets, crying for mama. What? Why I got betrayed? Why you got betrayed? Not me, but why you got betrayed? You. No, I'm not gonna say what it just went to my head. Guys, just keep an eye out, guys. It's that season of the. I could have waited another week for this, but I trying to get you guys early, so you can massage it into the massage yourself into that situation. Definitely. You don't want to run last moment. I need to keep an eye out because KaiR didn't tell me on the right time. So, guys, I'm trying to help y'all. If you want more dating tips, www.Iain'tGotNoWebsite.com because I don't give dating tips. No.
Or just subscribe to our channels.
Subscribe to our channel. Yeah, that's also a way to do it. Anyway, times is up. Yo, don't take an L in the season, man. This goes for women and men. Don't take an L. Don't take an L.
So I would say, women, stay clear. Not women. Married women or women who are in commitment, stay clear of mistletoes. Don't show your mistletoes. Guys, manage your jingle balls. And it should be fine.
It should be fine, yes.
It should be
fine.
Should be.
And from next week on, you will hear us in HD.
HD. Looking forward, man. KaiR, thanks for your random thought of the day. As usual, at first I have to hold my heart to see where you're going with it. Because when you started with the Christmas one, I thought, oh, it's just a throwback, so I know what's coming. But after I realized that that was just an introduction and there's still more to come, I became a bit nervous. But no.
Guys, don't worry. I won't turn out to be the second coming of Jesus.
No, there's already one. Jesus, the second coming of Jesus. Like I said, man, a guy actually said, I loved him. And that's, oh my God. He said, I loved him when I realized that he's the second coming of Jesus.
Well,
And he believes in reincarnation and Jesus. So that's a very cool. That's a very cool.
So he's blending beliefs as well.
Double thoughts.
Double thoughts. Man, you cannot only blend genders these days. You blend the religions as well.
Religions too well. No, man. Okay, no. With that being said, guys, thank you to each and every one of you who tuned in to the show. Thanks to everyone who stuck with us throughout the whole show. Thank you for the likes. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please share our content to people who might like to, who enjoy these types of contents. And of course, we look forward to seeing you in our next videos. Don't forget as well to follow us on IG and Instagram. We are active on those platforms as well. Maybe after this, we might even try Twitter, because I understand, from what I understood, Musk wants to also start introducing, let's say, video, so live streaming on Twitter. I don't know if that's just an idea or something that he's
Will
actually...
you pay us for exclusive rights? I'm gonna send him a tweet.
Yeah.
See what's up.
Send them with your burner account, man. Don't screw this up. And no, guys, with that being said, thank you. And we will see each other in the next episode with better quality audio, HD audio, as KaiR said. Guys, until next time. Peace.